Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rides. We are here in Detroit, Michigan for a special event, but also for being able to drive this truck. What the heck is it? This is your 2025 Ram 1500 Rebel. But before we get into this lifted off-road version of the Ram truck, let's talk about what's going on here. Ram, they're going through their lineup of trucks and making some big changes. And when Ram goes to make changes, other brands need to be on notice because they've really been at the forefront for bringing so many different fine touches to pickup trucks that were once only available in luxury vehicles. Now, for 2025, we have new sheet metal, we have new chassis, we have new engine, and of course, new technology. The Rebel, though, is an interesting vehicle because this isn't an extreme off-roader, but it is a truck to get you through the down and dirty off-road business. A perfect competitor for this vehicle would be the Ford F-150 Tremor. So let's go ahead, let's dive into this truck and find out, should you go Tremor or should you go Rebel for your off-road daily use truck? Let's go ahead and find out. Right off the bat, the color. Normally I'm not a big red on a truck kind of guy because it reminds me of a fire engine, but it works on the Ram, especially with the two-tone, which I'll show you more of when we go around the vehicle. Now at the front of the business, you have the new face of the Ram Rebel. So you have newly sculpted headlight design, LED headlights, LED daytime running lamps. They made the housing much smaller. And then working our way down, you do have LED fog lamps, which are nice with this stamped steel front bumper. So you're getting some of that off-road cred there. Instead of having a plastic bumper, you have this stamped steel bumper. Of course, you're gonna have the required recovery points, not so that you could recover the Rebel, so that you could use the Rebel to recover trucks like the Tremor, like the Chevy Trail Boss. And I like the way they're painted coated black to match the rest of that bumper area. As we coast in front of the new grille, it's been updated. They actually took the Ram name and brought it up a little higher. You do have your forward-facing camera, full functionality up top, full functionality down below, and then underneath, you'll notice how that stamped steel bumper curves underneath the truck. You have plenty of ground clearance because this does have a 1-inch lift, and you have Bilstein shock absorbers all four corners. Those are monotube shock absorbers all four corners. Now, as we rise up, I love the style, the way they bring this little dip into the top grill area. You do got a bulge. So put away the socks, save those for the Ford guys and the Chevy guys because you got a bulge. And guess what? We have functional, not fake, but functional heat extractors on both sides of that bulge. It's one of those form following function, like it's there for function, but boy, does it look so good. And then of course you got the part on the back as well. I love the way they now put the badging on the hood. SST, I'll explain what the heck that means when we pop the hood to this 2025 Ram Rebel. Now, as we come around the bend, what do we work with? Wheel and tire setup. So you're getting 33-inch tires. So yes, 35s are bigger and better, but 33s are gonna do the business and they're a little bit more on-road friendly. Goodyear Wrangler, 33-inch tires with the shielding. And then you'll also notice you have a new wheel design, 18-inch wheel. I like it the way it's like a satin black finish to it. Lori's gonna go ahead and show off the suspension, all new control arms, those Bilstein monotube shock absorbers. Gonna allow plenty of wheel travel at the front, out the back, and then I like the way it's got the flat black on the fender flare because obviously you're gonna go off-roading and you want this to take a better beating. Now, this particular one has those power folding mirrors and you could extend them out for trailering. You got your full lighting built into that headlight, that side mirror housing. And then of course, the Ram name. And then here's where that two-tone comes into play. I really like the red with the black. I think the black just breaks it up enough from the side so it doesn't look like a fire engine. I was sort of looking for a Dalmatian to be in the video, but I could not find one. And unfortunately, our dog, Oscar, did not make it on the trip this time for this review. But you have the gloss black, you have painted black on your door handles. And then you'll also notice, I'm gonna have Lori kind of zoom back in and show you that we got 360-degree cameras on this Ram Rebel. So don't think that this is like a base. You know, you go Chevy Trail Boss, it's like they give you 4 off-road tires and a steering wheel. This, you're getting the tech too, which is nice. And that's where, like I said, Ram really brings a lot of tech and extra touches. Now, working our way towards the bed of the truck, this is where Lori will have a little bit better opportunity to show you the blue from the monotube shock absorbers. Of course, you're gonna have, I love, as we back out, that Rebel graphic. Just enough to make things interesting. I actually like this better than on the Ford Tremor. It just says Tremor, and then they put like some gold accents. I'm digging this. It's more like, sort of like, hey, I got a Rebel, rather than, I got a Rebel. You wanna let people know. And it looks good with the flat black and the red. At least I think so. Let me know what you think. And I think that's another reason why I like the red truck, is that this black breaks it down very nicely. Now, when we swing around the back, that Ram name, loud and proud. Once upon a time, it used to be Dodge Ram. Those days are gone. Obviously, Rebel name. And right where that Rebel name is, if you go to the left, we have our new LED taillights. New design bumper with all of your tow hookup capability. Nicely done. And then working our way down to ground level, I like the dual outlet exhausts. Nice slash cut with that shiny black chrome tip. You got your full tow capability with your receiver. And of course, you got your spare mounted up top. But one thing, of course, to show is how you have that nice power folding, power dropping rear tailgate. You'll notice all the tie down locations. They're adjustable. On the driver's side, you have LED lighting, and you got a home power source, which is great. And you have LED lighting on that side as well. And I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the down position so Lori could show you. You have a step here. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick this back up. You now have a step to where you could get in and out of the bed of the truck without having to open up the tailgate all the time. Real nice and easy, and then when you don't want it, it's real easy to put away. Watch this. Boom. And there's some mud that came off because we've been doing a little off-roading. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and see what the heck SST means in this Rebel. All right, guys, we got the hood popped. Underneath that ginormous hood, what do we have? No more Hemi V8, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. What do we have? SST is for the standard output Hurricane engine. So you're looking at a 3-liter, straight 6, twin turbocharged power plant, puts out 420 horsepower, 468 pound-feet of torque. That's more than the Hemi that's outgoing. It does that with 22 pounds of boost off the turbochargers. It uses a Torque Flight 8-speed automatic. Of course, this is 4-wheel drive with an electronic on-demand transfer case. Payload is 1,910 pounds. Towing capacity is 11,560 pounds. It's got a 392 rear axle. The truck weighs 5,102 pounds. MPGs, 18 in the city, 25 on the highway, and you're looking at 9.1 inches of ground clearance, and you have a rear locking differential. So, like I said, it's all about bringing value, and I think that's really where the Rebel, the Tremor, the Trail Boss comes into play. It will be interesting, though, to see how this actually competes 0 to 60 and everything with the Tremor. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire it up and see it go. All right, guys, we're inside this 2025 Ram Rebel. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I feel sometimes like I'm a rebel still. Not as much as when I was a kid, but, you know, sometimes I put non-recyclable items in the recycling cans and vice versa, just for the hell of it, just so I could say I did it, because I'm a rebel. I'm liking this Ram Rebel. Kind of matches my personality. Never really been a Ford guy, so I don't even want a Tremor. But how much is this truck? Very good question. Starting MSRP for the 2025 Ram Rebel is right at $66,000. Let's see what you get for your do-re-mi. To the door panels. Love the two-tone option in this one. You'll notice soft touch material up top, the red leather style material, all of the trim, no gloss black, even aluminum speaker grill covers, because we have that Harman Kardon premium sound system. You have your Coney dog holder in the center there. Get the mustard, get the sauerkraut, two of them you could put there. And then down below, easily will fit a box of Twinkies, which is perfect for dessert after you eat your Coney dogs. And then you have two bottle openers, or bottle holders, I should say. You got to open your own bottle. One root beer, one Mountain Dew, and you're ready to rock and roll. Now, going from the door panel to the dash, around the AC vents, I love that anodized red style trim. We got the Rebel name badge. Boom. And then the stitching, the soft touch, 10.25-inch infotainment system screen for the passenger. As the driver, I can't even see it, which is really good. I could shut it off, go to your room. You don't get to play with the infotainment system. Slide on in. This is the new 14.5-inch portrait-style infotainment system. Blows out of the water the 12-inch system in the Ford Tremor. Not normally a big fan of portrait style, but I like the way that it fits in the dash. I love all the trim, the red. You got your Harman Kardon center speaker up there. And then let me show you some of the things. Well, first of all, it's touchscreen, but I do like the way all AC controls are within the screen or actual buttons. You hit comfort. This is where you're going to be able to get heated seats, ventilated seats, and heated steering wheel. 3 stages of a heated steering wheel. I like the way it's got the little Ram Rebel for your recirculation rather than just putting a generic truck there. Let me throw it into reverse. Boom. Backup camera, super clear resolution, 360. My only zonk is I wish that there was more real estate for the actual image. This takes up way too much space, but going through all the different angles, I mean, I feel like I work at an airport and I'm going to help land planes because I could see them every which way I can go. And it even says more, like you want to do surround cam, you could do trailer reserve guidance when you're trailering so you don't look like a clown at the boat ramp. So it's nice to see all that great camera technology. And then right down here, I'm going to hit vehicle. That brings up, of course, our cameras again, but then you can go into your dashboard, towing, trailers. How about off-road pages? So we hit that. Takes a few seconds. There it is. There's your, I touched it again. That's a zonk. All I did was literally tap it with my pinky and it went back. So you got your pitch and roll, your suspension. Look at this. Make you look like the off-road champion that you deserve to look like. Even auxiliary gauges. That to me is really where it all comes together, the technology. More so than in the Tremor. Working your way down, you got your trailering steering on or off. All the different features that you could get into, even your apps. I mean, talk about an app store, and these are already in here. You don't have to buy these. They're already here. Look at all the different apps you have. Jeez Louise, that's more than what I have on my phone. Over for the driver, this is that rotary dial for the Torque Flight 8-speed automatic. You got your 4x4 system, all push button. You have axle lock for the rear axle, real volume knob, trailer release, 2 wireless chargers, 3 USB-Cs, 3 USB. Does anybody even have this much stuff to plug in? Well, I guess if you do, guess what? You even got HDMI for when you're watching your movies over on the passenger side, and an aux jack. 2 cup holders. You got, of course, your required State of Detroit Twinkie tray here. You could easily stack 10 Twinkies. And then look at this. While they're in here, you could slide this open and put your Yoo-hoos down here. Put a 6-pack of Yoo-hoos, and there's a home power source. Kind of hard for Lori to show, but it's there. I promise. Lori's doing an awesome job. Show her the love. And then you slide it back. But we're not even done yet. Soft touch, the stitching. Ready? Open it up. That's paperwork. You're not supposed to see that. Dang, you saw it. This is where you're going to be able to keep your Rocky Mountain oysters. You know, maybe you're a big ram lover like the animal and you want to go, you know, look at some rams in nature. You could bring a nice bag of Rocky Mountain oysters. Pull this up. You have more room in here than I had in my high school locker. You could easily put 3 Trapper Keepers and a pencil box full with pencil grips, little erasers that you put on the end. Keep that all in there. And we have all the important geometric readouts and timetables and the periodic table. So you don't have to memorize it. You're not supposed to see this paper. You're supposed to see that. Seats, the leather, the stitching. Says Rebel here in case you forget what vehicle you're getting into. Full electric assist for the passenger. Full electric assist with the driver. I'm not even done yet. Watch this. You ready? Power shade, one touch operation for our panoramic rootless. Really nice on the shade action. And you have a digital rearview mirror. So that's a nice touch. This is not one touch operation, by the way, for the shade. I have to zonk that. But there is our digital rearview mirror. But why don't you come over to the business side? I want to show you behind the wheel in this Ram Rebel. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel with a Rebel Yell. You got 2 memory seat settings for the driver's seat. You have the seat controls, easy to get to. That lower lumbar, ooh, that feels good. I'm 6 feet tall. If you really need more room, I guess you gotta go Power Wagon. And if you need more room than that, you need an 18-wheeler to drive around in. Steering wheel, you're gonna wanna rub your hands all over it. It looks good, it feels good, smooth touch, perforated, and then you got flat black on all the switch gear. You're gonna lock horns with that Ram as you're driving. It is a manual tilting and telescoping steering wheel, and then you do have a 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster, which I promise you, you can go through a freaking cornucopia of different information. I mean, there's more information than what you learned about in college. I mean, that's how much information there is. With the Rebel name, nice to have the clear graphics. But you know what? It's not just about what's going on up front. Let's get in the back seat and see what the Rebel brings for your passenger. All right, guys, we're in the back seat of this Ram Rebel, and right away, you're just gonna spoil the hell out of your passengers. I mean, when I was a kid, trucks didn't even have back seats. I remember my dad had a 77 Ranger. It had a bench seat up front, and it was very uncomfortable. And you didn't have any of the amenities that you have in this truck and that truck. I guarantee you that. Now, the backs of the seats, all leather, large pockets, put a Texas Instrument or 2, maybe an Abacus, do it old school. Back little command center. I like this trim. It's not trying to be like carbon fiber. I'm okay with that. It looks good. AC vents. You got a holder here for some Tootsie Rolls. 2 USB-Cs, 2 USB-As. You got 3 stages of heated seats, and you got a home freaking power source. I got more leg room in here than when I'm at the freaking movie theater. I mean, that's how nice it is in this freaking truck. Pull this down. Ooh. Soft as can be with 2 cup holders. Of course, you got your power sliding rear cab window. And then watch this. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Open sesame. Boop. You could fold up both seats. You have under the seat storage. You got your Ram gym bag. This is where you can keep your steroids, maybe some ankle weights, maybe one of those fluorescent headbands from the 1980s so you could jazzercise wherever the hell you do. But it's nice just to have all that room where you could fold the seats up. But why don't we go ahead? If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go for a drive in this Ram Rebel. All right, guys, we're inside this all-new 2025 Ram 1500 Rebel. It's interesting because right now, being in Detroit, the roads are so ripped up, I sort of feel like I am off-roading, which is kind of interesting. But it really shows the work that they've done to the chassis, the suspension, and of course with those more off-road spec tires. Now, getting out onto the highway, it really comes into play very well just how nice the interior is in here. And remember, this is nothing new to Ram. They really changed the name of the truck game, even going back to the early 2000s. But when they took home Truck of the Year back in 2019, that really was another message when it comes to the success that they're bringing with the interiors. But you got your new 14.5-inch infotainment system. I like the way it's well within reach. Of course, all of your 4x4 right by the rotary controller for your Torque Flight 8-speed automatic. And the new 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster is a thing of beauty, especially the way that you're able to configure it exactly the way you want it. Visibility out the front is fantastic. I got these ginormous side mirrors that are protruding out. They are power folding, like I pointed out before. And then just the seat comfort. They really have the name of the game on the interior, just really doing it well. Steering feels good. Of course, you got your different modes. And then everything else is very controllable. But this is one of those trucks that you can daily use with no issues. But yet, when you want to go off-roading, you have that capability as well. And now with the new Hurricane power plant, you have some really, really good power. You ready? Because we're going to go on throttle. Let me slow down a little bit. Nobody's, as you can see, our digital rearview mirror, nobody is behind us. I'm actually going to come to a complete stop since nobody is behind us. And then we're going to go on throttle. On throttle, here we go. Nice. Torque Flight really shifts well. It's interesting because, yes, I do miss the roar and the rumble of the Hemi, but there's no denying that with the Hurricane setup in here, you're still getting plenty of torque and plenty of power. That is for sure. And then remember, we have the upcoming RHO that's going to have even more power if you desire, plus a lot of other off-road goodies as well. But all the materials, the storage capacity in here, I mean, you could actually drive around with a convenience store worth of snacks in here. That's how much storage there is. Your passenger has that 10.25-inch screen, so they don't have to be a backseat driver. They could be a side seat driver, and navigation, everything is able to go into that screen, and I cannot see it whatsoever from the driver's seat. But I think one of the things I really like about the interior, like I pointed out earlier, is just all the finishes. This anodized material that they got going on, the dual stitching. I mean, not only is it soft touch, but it feels like freaking leather. And the Harman Kardon sound system in here is fantastic. Now, going down the road, you are going to get a bit of wind noise from those ginormous side mirrors that are like billboards. And you are going to get a little bit more road noise because of the off-road spec tire. But this is one of those things that the truck is very daily friendly, and you can get to those off-road areas, which if you haven't been in Michigan, there's this area where they have, believe it or not, sand dunes. I would love to take this truck out there and get down and dirty. But the fact that you have a panoramic sunroof, a lot of brands, Chevy doesn't come with a panoramic sunroof. You can't get in there. Trail Boss, AT4, GMC, no panoramic sunroof. You get a standard sunroof, but I got full panoramic sunroof. I mean, all the extra switch gear going into the infotainment system, that Uconnect 5, much quicker than the past. You got all your AC controls, the whole 9 yards. I think another thing that I like about this Ram Rebel, especially with the off-road Bilstein dampers on this thing, is that you're not swaying all over the place. I don't feel like I'm bouncing too much. You know, sometimes the suspension on an off-road truck could be a little bouncy. This is very controllable, even on the asphalt jungle here. And steering has a nice feel to it. It's not too heavy, and it really communicates well with what the front of the truck is doing. So that's another thing that I think, whether you're driving on-road or off-road, you're really gonna enjoy with this Ram Rebel. I like seeing the big bulge in the hood, of course. That lets you know that you have 420 horsepower underneath the hood. But really, like I said, where your friends that may be Chevy boys or Ford boys or GMC boys, when they get inside, they're gonna be a little jelly because, I mean, I got dual wireless charging, all the different compartments, and even things like the steering wheel. And I think with the way that this particular truck, our Ram Rebel that we're driving, is red with this darker red interior, is really, really working super well. But being able to have good visibility out the front, that digital rear view mirror is a heaven sent because, you know, sometimes it gets a little congested around here in Detroit and you want to be able to see what the heck is going on around you. But you're able to do that very easily with this truck. And then, of course, when you're ready to go off-roading, then you're able to get into your 4 high, your 4 low, you get the hill descent control, all those goodies. But really, really nice to, even things like changing lanes is just, it's a piece of cake in this thing. Oh, throttle, here we go. You gotta merge, you gotta pass. You got the power. And remember, with the Hurricane engine being lighter, you do have less weight off the nose of the truck, which is nice. Once again, on throttle, here we go. A little bit of traction loss because we are in 2-wheel drive right now because we're just driving around on the roads, the city streets of Detroit. We're actually driving by the Ford Center and a Ram. But like I said, you know, I didn't believe Michigan had terrible roads until I eventually drove on them. And yes, you guys in Michigan definitely take the cake for some of the worst roads in the country. But with this Ram Rebel, I don't even feel them. Just like when you're going off-road, it's gonna handle really, really well over the bumps, over the whoops, and everything else. But I hope that this overall review has been helpful in showing you what the Ram Rebel is all about, especially on those daily driving commutes. We're gonna get one of these to go off-road soon, so stay tuned for that. But we gotta wrap it up here from Dearborn, so I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, been another great day in so many ways here in sunny Detroit, Michigan. Definitely want to thank the whole Ram team getting us access to this 2025 Ram 1500 Rebel. Let me know what you think. Are you liking the changes that Ram has made for model year 2025? Getting rid of the V8 engine compared to what the other brands are doing, specifically the F-150 Tremor. Let me know which way you're gonna spend your money. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Rights family. None of this would be possible if it wasn't for LG Raiti, Lori Gibbons Raiti, working that camera like the champion she is. Show her some love in the comment section. Thank you, Lori, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.